I just think there's a lot of fake gurus out there that try and get you in and, promise you the world. I think there's a lot of scammers as well. From 2019 to 2021, I was a technician there for 2 years. And then from there, I went to a place called Solvay. That's a carbon fiber manufacturer. So I was there for a year. That was decent money, but it was 12-hour shifts and I didn't really have a social life.
And is this one of the reasons that kind of led you into kind of looking into the stock market and then Forex and that sort of thing?
My average trade is 36 minutes. I feel like the market's most volatile when it switches over, so I keep an eye on the times it does switch.
So you've done 12% in 3 days?
Yes, mate, yeah.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. When you're making 25k a month, what are you driving?
I will be driving...
Welcome back, traders, to another CTI podcast. Today we are joined by Rhys, who is relatively new to trading compared to other traders that I've spoken to. He has come up through stock market trading to finding Forex and has got himself funded within a few months, which is pretty incredible. Do you know what? I was skeptical at first. I thought, this kid probably didn't know what he's talking about. But when I was speaking to him about his understanding of the marketplace, the reason why he is where he is, his drive and his motivation behind where he is, it's clear to see that this guy really works hard. By night, he works in the warehouse of a supermarket, and by day, he scalps gold, which is a pretty incredible thing to do, especially when you're knackered from a long night shift. It's a really interesting story, and if you make sure you stay tuned to the end, he told me right at the end of the podcast, which I'm slightly upset with him about, he told me right at the end of the podcast the reason why he's doing this and what brought him to this, so that was quite interesting and pretty scary as well. Now, as always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe below so you can catch the next one. And if you'd like to find anything more out about the CTI funded packages, the challenge account, instant funding, direct funding, click the link below, have a look at all the information. Feel free to reach out to us in the comments if you have any questions. Cheers. So yeah, today, traders, we are joined by Rhys. Rhys, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me. So, Rhys, you're a bit of a night owl, aren't you?
I am, mate, yeah.
You are.
Definitely.
And me and Rhys have been chatting over the last couple of days, and he's very kindly agreed, because it's busy time, isn't it? We've got family stuff to do. He's very kindly agreed to join me at 3 a.m. in the morning. No, only joking. It's not actually 3 a.m. But it is early. It does feel early.
Yes.
Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. So,
no problem at all.
Let's find out a little bit about you. So, when did you start trading, Rhys?
Well, it started off a few years ago, but I was trading more stocks on Trading 212.
Yeah.
And then that's where I learned most of the technical analysis. And a few months back, I thought, why not take it over level? So then I decided to get into Forex a little bit.
So you've only been trading Forex for a couple of months?
For about 5 months, yeah.
Wow. And you're doing prop firm challenges already?
Yes, mate. I've attempted probably about 6 or 7. There's been a few that I have got to pass, but then with the risk factors in some of the prop firms that have failed due to that half, because I like to scalp, and it's kind of a
What's great about, I think, the prop firm and the challenges is that whilst there's kind of two trains of thoughts, two trains of thought, let's get those words out correctly. There's two trains of thought, isn't there? I think some people look at it and be like, oh, it's really restrictive and, they're not letting me trade and blah, blah, blah. But actually, if you're a professional trader, it teaches you a really smart way of trading where you take that time, you build patience, you build discipline, and ultimately you can grow as a trader. Because, risking 1%, 2% a trade, that's great on live funds. But if you've got £1 million worth of capital, do you really need to trade kind of 1% per trade?
Of course.
0.2% maybe okay. So I think using prop firms from early doors, which you've clearly done, I think is a really good way to develop longevity in this marketplace. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
You failed a few.
Yep.
And that was what? Definitely. Like hitting the daily drawdown limit? What was the reasons?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's our daily drawdowns, but I was with one. They had a less than 2.5 risk percentage per trade. Yeah. So then if I was, it was only a 5k account as well. So anything over £250 per trade, then it's the account gone.
Account's gone.
That was no good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as well, when you've got smaller accounts like that, it's difficult. I think there's a level of income that we want to come in. So for example, if you've got a $2,500 account and you're trading at 1% per trade, okay, that for a prop firm challenge is quite big risk. But actually, you're only risking $25. So if you go down, you'd be a little bit smarter and you say you risk 0.2% per trade. Now you're only risking $5 per trade. So if you win 5R, you're only making $25. So it's really difficult, I found, with those smaller accounts to get you kind of your head into the space of saying, actually, I've done 5-hour trade today, but because you look at it and you think, well, I've made $25. That's neither here nor there. You know, I spent $25 on a Domino's. And it makes you kind of then over leverage, doesn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So you've then gone through a few accounts. How did you find that? How is the healing process?
It's all a learning curve. So you take your techniques, and then of course you move on to the next one, and you put that technique what you lost back into it, and to see if it works on the next one. And then if it doesn't work, try a new technique, and then see what's happening from there.
And what do you do if you do go through, say, an account and you blow that account? What's your process to kind of get yourself back and better? How do you deal with the psychology? Because I remember when I've blown accounts in the past, it breaks you, doesn't it? You're so disappointed, especially if you spent a lot of time on it. Like in my later years of trading, I'd spend more time blowing accounts, if that makes sense. So like in the early days, it was easy to blow them in a day. And I was happy.
Of course.
I'd be like, oh, it's gone. See you later. On to the next one. In the later days, before I found my profitability, I was blowing them in like 2 months. And that, for me, I felt was worse because it's so much more frustrating. So what would you do to kind of master your psychology? So you've blown an account. What's the first thing that you do to sort your head out?
Well, to be fair, I'd have about half hour off. Definitely come off the chart for a little bit, refresh my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe watch some different kind of scoping techniques on YouTube, and then go back on the charts maybe a few hours later.
Okay.
Buy a new prop firm challenge or just to get a demo account and look for resistance and support lines, to be fair. And straight back in, mate. Yeah.
Mate, yeah. You know, I often get asked that question because I work a lot. You know, I was creating content over on Christmas Day, Christmas morning, and Boxing Day yesterday. I was creating content and messaging my Discord group, and a couple of guys in my group were like, "Have a day off," and I'm like, "Do you know what? I can't." I think when you're when you're on the grind and you've got like a taste for this amazing future that you're about to unlock for yourself, it's really like to switch off from it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Yeah, fair play to you. So you go back in now. In terms of when you have failed challenges before, what have been the main reasons why you have failed challenges? Because I think probably the reasons that you failed challenges will be similar to the reasons why I failed challenges, and I think people watching this can then hopefully relate.
Yeah, well, there's a few factors, really. It depends on the trading rules of the prop firm if you're using prop firms.
Yeah.
I think, essentially, CTI's been the best for me because, there are no trading rules, there's no daily drawdown, it's an absolute max drawdown, so if you do manage to make a few £100 in the first day, you've got more leverage to lose it off, and you're not going to blow your account if you do lose it. But yeah, the main thing that's been taking me down is just the risk factors and the daily drawdown limits. So the Definitive, they have a high risk factor as well. So it's the 2.5% per trade. So if you lose 2.5% of the account per trade, then that's the account run.
Right, okay.
And it's also the same with the daily drawdown. So if you was to make about $300 in the first day, but your drawdowns obviously only 10%, so that would be £500 or $5,000.
Yeah.
Then you could lose, $300 that you made that day, and then another 200. So you're not even at the daily drawdown yet, but then it's still the account concept.
Yeah. And that, that's sometimes the difficulty, isn't it? Is that they make, I think there are companies out there, and that's I think, you felt the same as I have with companies like CTI and a couple of others, a couple of others really can go in the same category, but not many else. I think so many of these companies now, they make the challenges, I think, unfairly difficult.
Yes.
So that when you fail, it's like, well, you failed on this rule, or you failed on that rule, or it's, it's this or that. And it's just, it makes you feel like they're against you. And it's what gives some of these prop firms a bad name. I think there's probably only count on one hand the companies out there that I could trust, with CTI being at the top of that list, really. And if you look at how many prop firms have come out the woodworks in the last 12 months, I mean, it seems like every Instagram trader has their own prop firm these days, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They're everywhere.
There is. It's dangerous, isn't it? It's really dangerous.
Yeah, 100%. So you were talking about not having a daily drawdown. Does that mean that you use instant funding to CTI, or is it direct funding?
I tried the challenge funding.
Yeah.
And I failed it on the second. I managed to pass the phase 1 and I failed it on the phase 2.
Okay.
So I thought, you know what, why not put a bit more money in and try the actual instant funding?
Yeah.
So I went for it and I got paid. Well, I think it was $500 for the account.
Yeah.
And then basically from then I got on the charts when I woke up in the morning, and I was just looking, scalping for the 1 minute charts all day. And To be fair, I made about 250 trades
Wow.
in 3 days. Yeah.
Jesus.
And then
That's a lot.
And it is a hell of a lot. Yeah, so I think it's a bit too much, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe.
But then,
maybe. But do you make money?
Yeah, the profit come up to 1,200 in
Happy days.
3 days. So.
And what was the size of the account?
10K.
I mean, what? So you've done 12% in 3 days?
Yes, mate, yeah.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's, I mean, I'm not going to say confidently, but I'd like to kind of be consistent with it, but consistency is really something that everybody struggles with in trading. So.
Absolutely. But even if you could maybe set a few criteria, maybe you go back over, and this is where I think your journaling and back testing process comes in really, really handy, because what maybe is advisable to do is to look back over those 250 trades. I think, you probably rightly so, you've acknowledged that 250 trades, so what we're looking at, about 75-ish trades a day. Is that right?
Yeah.
About 80 trades, 83 or something like that trades a day. Don't know about the masses, early, remember. So, about 80 trades a day is probably unrealistic in the long term. But
definitely, yeah.
With that is now you have a massive chunk of data. There's not many traders out there that could easily get 250 trades. When I tell my Discord guys to backtest, I say you need at least 2 to 3 years worth of data, or at least 100 trades. So, that might take some of them 6 months, but you've got 250 trades in such a short space of time. So what you can do then is you can analyze that information. You can maybe look at the ones, because I'm sure there's ones in there you're like, why did I take that? That was a stupid one.
Of course, I've marked them. Yeah.
Yeah. And there'll be also ones that you look and be like, that is absolutely the reason why I took that trade, is because that is perfect and meets all my criteria. And then you develop a slightly better kind of filtering process, effectively.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, okay.
And that's how you develop as a trader. Ultimately, that's how you get bigger and better. And, long term, if you've got £1 million worth of capital, you're probably not going to be taking 250 trades. But even if you can take a quarter of them and earn yourself 3% a week, 3% a week, £1 million account, 30 grand a week.
That's all you need.
You're happy with that, wouldn't you?
Definitely, yeah.
That's 120k a month. Take that all day long. Lovely.
Yeah.
So, what do you do for a day job then, Rhys?
For a day's job. So, I currently work at Aldi, supermarket.
Yeah.
But I work at the
Other supermarkets are available. I don't know if we have to say that on this, but I see it on TV. Other supermarkets are available as well as Aldi.
Of course, yeah. But no, it's a good job.
Is it true, right? Question. Is it true that Aldi was a German geezer and he had a brother who was Lidl? Is that true, or is that like a myth?
I'm not sure about the Lidl, but I knew he was German and started up the First World War. And Lidl was the biggest competitor at the time, but I'm not sure if they were brothers.
I heard Aldi and Lidl were brothers. Hang on, let's ask Google. Hey, Google. Are Aldi and Lidl German brothers? Oh, the right way to ask it.
Business Insider. Urban myth claims that the German discounter rivals Aldi and Lidl were founded by two brothers. That is,
wow.
Both grocery store empires were founded by different families.
Oh, no. It's a myth.
No.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
I heard that they were brothers, right? I heard that they were brothers, and they had fallout one day, and they only had a certain number of letters that they could use. So one went with Aldi and one went with Lidl. I mean, I'm saying it. It sounds absolutely ridiculous.
It does.
Anyway, found a sound right. So you work at Aldi, and how long you be there for?
10 months, 11 months,
Okay.
next month.
What were you doing before that?
Well, to be fair, I've quite had a lot of problems holding down jobs last year.
Okay.
But before I don't know if you heard about a company called Rolls-Royce.
Rolls-Royce?
To be fair, yes.
As in the car company?
As in, the aerospace company.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I was from 2019 to 2021, I was a technician there.
Wow.
And then basically I was a machine tech. Sorry?
Like engineering?
No, I was a technician, so I was a machine technician there. So I was fixing the machines and stuff there for 2 years. And then from there, I went to a place called Solvay. That's a carbon fibre manufacturer. So I was there for a year. That was decent money, but it was 12-hour shifts and I didn't really have a social life. So
you've been doing some hard graft over the years then?
That's hard
work, that, isn't it? It's tough work, that.
Definitely.
And is this, what are the reasons that kind of led you into kind of looking into the stock market and then Forex and that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, a few people used to work with Rolls Royce because it's a really well-paid job, and I suppose they had quite a lot of money, so I took some kind of incentive from them.
Yeah.
Learning about stocks and technical analysis, and then from there I progressed into what I'm doing now.
So that was colleagues that you worked with that have kind of taught you how to do it, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah, essentially, yeah.
And do you still use any of that information? Because it's quite interesting. I find there's so many people out there that'll be like, "Oh, I trade the stock market, and this is what you need to do." And it's like, well, actually, mate, you're still working the same job that you're still working. You're not doing anything with it. Are you actually making money? It's like when people say they're professional gamblers, and it's like, are you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You're still working in the local pharmacy. So if you're a professional gambler and you're making that much money, so the information that you were taught probably got you into it. But how useful has that been now?
Well, it's not really useful, to be fair. If it worked, I would be still doing it now, like you said. So,
That's it.
but no, with stocks, it's only buys as well, so it's not really sell. You just look at the market for when it's trying to go up.
Yeah.
So that's a downfall to it. But there was a few times I've made 20-30% on trades, to be fair.
Good.
Yeah, but other than that, nah, definitely more into Forex.
Yeah. So you weren't quite getting. You had a bigger appetite basically than what the stock market was giving you.
And yeah, definitely, yeah.
Come across Forex. Where do you remember the moment where you kind of like you saw it on social media, or would you remember the moment where you found Forex?
Yeah, I was actually on Trading 212, and I was looking because there's three types. There's Invest, and there's an ISA, and then there's CDF. Is it CFDs? And I was looking at the CFDs, and I thought I was giving it a go at trading, and I put £50 in one day, and it just dropped. I thought, wow, that's gone. And then that intrigued me. So then I thought I'd put my own research into it. Then I learned about pips and lot sizes and how it all works. And I thought, wow, that's definitely something I'd like to get into. And then from then, basically, 2 hours, 3 hours every day, I've been learning different technique.
Amazing.
But I've been putting the grafting, definitely, yeah.
Have you got a particular strategy that you follow, or is there a particular mentor that's taught you what?
No, I don't. I've not had any mentors or anything. The only ones, I go on YouTube and just look at scalping techniques.
Yeah.
Loads of different people. I feel like if you go to one person for the advice, then you're just going to be stuck with that one person. But if you go to different people, you're going to have opinion behind, see different ways of doing it, and
definitely
see which technique works better.
I think, in the wider world, people really vilify strategy hopping. They talk about strategy hopping like it's the worst thing that you can do. And I think when you've learned a strategy and committed to it in some way, they are right. When it's not fully working, immediately jumping to another strategy is probably the wrong thing to do. But in the early days, you need to find out what works for you and what you like effectively. So I think in the early days, strategy hopping is really, really important. It's definitely important once you've found something that you really like or enjoy or fits your social life or whatever it may be, you then commit to it and put the work into it. And you've got to go through all that testing and live testing, back testing, all that sort of stuff to really establish when it doesn't work. I think so many people, they try something out, it doesn't work instantly. It's almost like being told how to fix a car engine and then going to a broken down car and not knowing how to fix it off the top of your head. Well, obviously, if you've just been told how to do it once, you're not going to know how to do it.
No, yeah, definitely.
Immediately. You've got to learn and practice and repeat and repetition. But I think, where people struggle sometimes is that they find a strategy, it doesn't work instantly, and then they move on immediately to something else. And actually, they might have been at that point where it's going to start to work. So you found this strategy now. You've I'm assuming you've built it from a few different things that you've seen all over the place then, have you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And, talk to me about then what signals you into an entry. If you were going to take a trade, what is it that you're actually looking for to get yourself into a trade?
Well, essentially, I do look for either uptrend or a downtrend. So that's the main reason I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then I'll do them at a different time. But it's 5 minutes to see what trend is going on. And I go to the 1 minute trend, and then I'll have a look at support and resistance lines. Yeah. And then if there's any long wicks at the resistance line or the support line, and I'd probably go from the top and then try and take a profit off 2 to 3 pips.
Sure.
On that, essentially.
So you're just kind of in and out. What sort of size stops would you usually go for?
Well, nothing too extreme, to be fair. If it depends, if the candle wick's above the resistance line, then I like to put my stop loss just above the candle wick.
Yeah.
Just in case. And then I try not to lose more than 2% per trade.
Yeah.
To be fair. I mean, that's a hell of a lot, but
yeah, it's quite. Yeah, quite. I'd say quite a lot. Do you reduce that risk for the prop firm challenges?
Yes. I mean, on this one, it's a 10k account, and the leverage is only 10-1. It doesn't make much difference, but the biggest lot size I could do is 0.42.
Okay.
So that's not really enough to get you where you need to be. So then I was basically, what's the word? Leveling it out. So I was making more trades on the one trade.
Yeah. So you're kind of adding into the position, were you?
Yeah, that's right.
Break even, adding to the position, that sort of thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
If I was to make profit per trade, I'd take my stop loss down, then to break even or to take a little bit of profit out of it. So
cool.
Try not to lose too much on the trades.
Amazing. Well, look, I think I'd really like to see kind of your setup and how you kind of get into trades and things like that. So I think what we're going to do is going to hop onto your chart now, if that's cool, Rhys. And just team us through maybe a couple of opportunities that you may be seen, a couple of trades that you've taken, or maybe kind of talk through what you'd be looking for to get into the market today or something like that. Whatever you want to do, just give us a bit of a rundown of your kind of your daily process.
To be fair, probably I've looked for more resistance than
support resistance, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I look for more. There's not much going on there, so what I do, I'd probably zoom or go out a little bit and then look for resistance to maybe.
And so when you're looking for support and resistance lines, what sort of time frame do you use for them?
Well, it could be from the 15 or 15, 5 and 1, to be fair.
Okay.
That's what I'd use.
So would you put so can you see any on that chart, for example?
Do I have just put that line in? Just about there. There's probably, I'd look for an entry to sell there.
Fine. Okay. Because that's the kind of last wick, effectively. The last highest high.
Yeah, essentially, yeah, probably about that, to be fair.
Yeah.
I put my stop loss probably about... Oh, no, sorry, that's my take profit. I put my take profit about the stop loss at the top.
Yeah.
And then I wait for a sell, and if it was to go down to like 65.10, then I'd probably have a sell there, or I'd wait till it hits the stop loss, depending on how volatile it's looking.
So you're waiting for a bit of commitment then, and then you'll kind of add into the position then, will you?
Essentially, yeah. But this is not looking like any confirmation for me.
No, I mean, Christmas week, isn't it? So the liquidity in the market is relatively low. Then.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But essentially, yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd look for resistance or support, and I can't really see a support line there. I can see there's one there, but that's quite a lot. So
looking for support resistant lines. I mean, let's just say, I'll tell you what to do. Jump up to say the hourly chart, because that will give us a bit more data to work from. And let's almost simulate your trading effectively. Okay, so looking at that chart, then that line that you've drawn is actually a pretty good resistance line, isn't it? I can see there.
Yeah, perfect.
So when your price gets to that line, that level effectively, you're then going to be taking a trade from there. Is there anything in particular that you'd be looking for? Like, do you look for any particular candlestick patterns? Are you waiting for, I don't know, a golfing pattern or, a doji pin bar, something like that?
Essentially, I'm looking for a long wick. So it could be like this red one.
Yeah.
So if the wick's long and it goes up like that, then I would get a trade in about there.
Okay. So it's kind of signs of rejection effectively then.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's easier to trade with rejection than it is to trade with support.
100%. And if you were then so that's obviously, quite a heavy counter trend play, because obviously it's, quite a bullish marketplace.
Yeah.
When you're looking for buys, if you were to look for a buy on this market, where would you be looking for that buy to come from, do you reckon?
Oh, God. If I was looking for a buy, I'd definitely wait for more confirmation to see what's coming.
Yeah.
Probably take the buy around there. Just if it was to drop down, take the buy around there.
Support and resistance lines, you're effectively looking for almost like the most touches on that resistance line. Because it's quite, this is the thing that I always struggle with the support and resistance line, is it's quite subjective, isn't it? You could get 5 different traders who would draw their support and resistance lines slightly differently. They'd probably all be in a very similar area, but ultimately we'll draw them kind of very differently. So what is it that you're exactly looking for that support or resistance line? Is it, 2 touches, 3 touches, or do you just kind of do it based upon feel?
It's based upon the feel, to be fair. I like to see confirmation first. If I see a bigger candle coming down, then I like to make sure it's confirmed before I do make a trade, or try my hardest to make it confirmed. And then essentially, just if it feels right to do it, then I go for it.
Yeah. And do you trade? So is it gold you trade only? Do you trade anything else?
About Bitcoin first.
Sorry, Rhys, I lost you there. Say that again.
Bitcoin based USD as well. To be fair, I've been trying to get into that one a little bit.
I used to trade Bitcoin a lot. How do you find it?
It's all right. It's really volatile though, isn't it?
That's why I'll be honest, mate. That's why I stopped trading it, because I felt like it was so heavily manipulated. And look, my trading strategy is basically a manipulation of liquidity strategy. So I try and trade with the algorithm of the market. But I found that Bitcoin, you'd have those moves, wouldn't you, over kind of Friday to a Monday, where it just literally clears out the market. Like
exactly,
everyone out on the buy side, everyone out on the sell side. It leaves literally no prisoners.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And I stopped trading it. So how do you find your strategy works with it? I suppose probably less risky for you because you're in and out quite quickly.
I've made a couple of trades, to be fair. It's nothing... See, that's a loss there, to be fair.
Yeah.
But then that's a profit on the same candle. This is what I try and feel about making too many trades, you see. So I would have made that trade first and I would have tried to sell straight away.
Yeah.
So that's something I definitely need to come out.
Second guessing your bias sometimes, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But look, that's all part of the learning curve of trading. I think everybody does that at one point in time. They second guess their bias. They think it's going to go short, then it shows them they're going to go bullish. So they take it short, they lose that trade, then they take it bullish, and then it turns actually short. And what's really good about trading over time is you eventually get better at picking the right bias. You eventually get at trusting your edge. And this is where the testing comes in. And you can't force that testing, sadly. It takes time and patience to develop. It's like anything, isn't it? It's like any skill. You can't force it. You can't... I'll use the same analogy. You can't be told how to rebuild a car engine once and expect to be able to do it straight away. You've got to practice it over and over again, and over time you'll get better and better.
Yeah,
is this your 250 trades?
Yes, that's true, mate. It's heavy.
But look, mate, if it works, it works. It doesn't really matter how you got the end result, if I'm honest. If you're consistently making profit, it works. All you've got to do now to make yourself more money is refine it. Because if you can make 12% or 250 trades, maybe if you cut out 30% of those trades, you might actually be another 5% more profitable.
Of course, yeah, definitely with the amount of loss, yeah.
I think it's really amazing how far you've come so quickly. I think, it took me years to pass prop firm challenges, like years. And I was the same as you. I was a really bad overtrader, but the way that I trade by overtrading made me lose consistently. What's great about you is you acknowledge that you're probably overtrading, but you're still making money. So look, there's exciting things ahead for you, because if you're making money and you know that you're overtrading, imagine if you were trading the right volume of trades and how much more profitable you would be. It's pretty impressive, mate. And the fact that you've learnt it so quickly, without a mentor, without a community, you've just been doing it on your own?
Yeah, all on my own, all YouTube videos.
Do you know anyone else who trades?
Commitment, though. Yeah, it's still commitment from my half, though. I like to be in with 2 feet, so just continuous learning, and like to be in there. It's something that I do want to make a career out of, so I'm going to put everything I have into it and just try my hardest to succeed. So,
mate, I got so much respect for that. What is it that's driving you? What's the drive?
To be fair, it's the working at home. I love being around my family. I love being around my little boy and my partner. Yeah. It's just the working at home. It's turning on my laptop, doing a few trades a day, just 5 or 6 trades, turning it off and doing the same in a couple of days, or 3-4 times a week maybe.
How long is your trading window? So how long are you normally at the charts for?
Well, my average trade is 36 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure if you call that. I'm not too sure what you call that there.
Yeah, I mean, intraday trading, scalping, I mean, it's kind of halfway in between. I think scalpers, purist scalpers might trade a little bit less time. They try to trade kind of like less than 10 minutes. But your scalping strategy, intraday strategy, look, it doesn't really matter what it's called, it works. And are you doing kind of London session, New York session? Are you not fussy?
I like to switch. Okay. So I feel like the market's most volatile when it switches over. So I keep an eye on the times it does switch.
Yeah.
And then within those periods, there's the times where I do the most trades.
Yeah. Do you have a particular window that you do trade? Do you prefer trading in the morning or the afternoon?
Definitely 1 o'clock, 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. for the gold, yeah.
So, yeah.
Previous time of the day.
Definitely for gold. 1 p.m. at gold. How do you trade around news?
Well, to be fair, I'm always looking at the news. Obviously, if it's looking positive, then sometimes it can get a little dodgy because obviously it likes to drop down before it goes up. So I hold out, and then when I see confirmation, that's when I go for it. So essentially, I made a trade on the news, and it about 40 to 50 pips.
Wow.
But I think that was on the Definitive Funding one. I think it was the day before I made this challenge.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's the one that made me pass the account, but also made me fail due to the risk factor of it. So
no way. So it was a profitable trade, but it failed your account because of the risk factor.
That's right, yeah.
That's disgusting.
I know, mate. Honestly, it's made me, to be fair, that pushed me away a little bit. It made me not want to come back to them.
Can you imagine that? You've got somebody who's trading profitably, but because the risk of the trade was too high, you failed the account. I could understand if they almost wipe the trade. I could scrub the trade from your account, but to lose your account over it, that seems pretty mad. And so, we touched on CTI earlier, but what is it about CTI in particular that you're so happy with, so drawn to? Why CTI over the other brokers and prop firms?
Oh, to be fair, it's most things about it. The dashboard's clear to understand.
Dashboard's amazing. Funny enough, I just recorded a video for walking through the dashboard, and it made me realize, I've obviously used it myself, but actually talking it through step by step to show traders how to use it really opened my eyes to how good it is compared to most of the companies. Yeah,
definitely. That's a big factor. And just the way the trades are, to be fair.
Yeah.
The profit split's not the best, but, after you've been there a few months or passed a few praises, it goes up to 100%, which is incredible. Definitely.
What are you at the moment?
I'm still waiting for my 40k account, and they've not gone for the risk factors yet. So they just say I passed it. I just need to wait for the credentials for the
profit split at the moment, though. What are you on at the moment?
I think it'll be up to 100%. I'm pretty sure that it's 50%.
50% starts off with, and then it grows to like 10%, doesn't it, each month?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So look, you speculate to accumulate, don't you? And I think what they're doing, because obviously it's a higher risk type account from their perspective as well, as they're just making sure that you're not like a gambling trader. Gambling traders normally show themselves within a month to 2 months. And with the instant funding accounts, unfortunately, they take a little bit more risk onto the prop firms, which is why the profit share is a little bit smaller at first. But look, speculate to accumulate. If you're a profitable and consistent trader, eventually, like you said, you'll be on 100% profit, then everyone's happy. They're probably copying your trades elsewhere and making their money off your trades. You're then getting your 100% profit split. Everyone wins in that situation, don't they? And you've shown them over 4, 5, 6 months that you're actually a really good, profitable and consistent trader, which, is the dream for any prop firm. I think, we forget that sometimes as traders. I think we put so much pressure on the prop firms to provide us with amazing challenges, amazing rules, easy to pass, the smallest spread, no commissions. And you've got to remember as well, from the flip side of it, it's a business for them as well. It works for us as a trader because we want to make our money, but the prop firm also has to make money as well.
Of course they do, yeah.
People, I think people talk bad about prop firms. They're like, it's really bad because they use people's failed challenges to pay out profits. And it's like, well, of course they do. That's kind of part of the business model, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course it is.
And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? At the end of the day, 95% of the traders are failing anyway. They can use that then to fund, the profits of, successful traders. And then the really successful traders, what they'll usually do is they'll do what's called A-booking them, which is where they put them literally on a live account and copy their trades across. And then everyone makes money out of it. It's got to be a mutual relationship. And I think when you work within a prop firm's confines, and CTI and a couple of others, they're pretty relaxed in comparison to other insurance companies. But when you work within, you'll generally have a much better relationship. If you're using algos or EA bots or HFT or these sorts of things, there's a reason why prop firms don't want to do business with you, because it's high risk trading. It's high risk trading, low risk, profitable traders. And people like you and I will always do better out of it as a result of that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely.
So talk me through then, big plans for you. So CTI, you're waiting through so when you get your 40k account through, what's going to be your total portfolio capital, if you don't mind me asking, of course?
Well, What do you mean by that? Sorry.
So how much funding will you have when you get the 40k through? Do you got 10?
I think it's just the 40k. Yeah. So I'm not sure about the 10k account I got right now. I'm pretty sure they'll close that account and then they'll send me credentials for the 40k.
Right. Okay. So have you scaled it up? Have you?
Yes, I have. Yeah, scaled it up. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct.
Right. Okay. And talk me through that process then. What was the process to scale it from 10k to 40k?
Well, it's the instant funding one. So basically, you have to hit 10% of the profit target.
Yeah.
And then it scales up automatically.
Okay.
So
from 10 to 40.
Yes, mate. Yeah, that's right.
That's it.
That is a massive thing. That's why I went for it. I mean, there's a few. I think you can get from 40 to 80k as well. To be fair, I think it's just the instant challenges that they do. So.
And what do you have to achieve to go from 10 to 40?
Just a 10%. Just a 10%. 10% profit. Yeah.
10% profit. That then, because I'll be honest. I'm going to be completely honest. I probably should know more, seeing as I'm hosting a podcast for them. I do the challenges. That's what I've always done. That's how my kind of brain works. But I was speaking to one of the guys within CTI at the moment. Shout out to Scott. And he said, "Why don't you do the instant funding?" And I was like, "Oh, I like a challenge. I'm familiar with challenge." But yeah, that's pretty mad then. So you go 10 to 40 and then 40 to 80.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, that's right. But then you have to hit 10% again at 40, so that's 4k you have to hit, and then you can scale it up again, or you can withdraw after 10 days. Yeah, that's correct, I'm sure.
Nice little $2,000 take home. That probably tops up your Aldi wages pretty nicely, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably get about 2.2 after Aldi.
Yeah,
which is not too.
You're doubling your income basically.
Exactly. Yeah,
nice.
So that's my aim to. Essentially, my aim is to make this my first primary income.
Yeah,
and then once that's accomplishable, then I will leave Aldi. So.
And so what do you need? Are you working towards a certain figure before you leave work? Do you need something?
Essentially, I need a little bit in the bank, probably just under 10k to be fair. And then essentially I want to scale up a few accounts. I don't just want to be liable on one account because obviously if it goes wrong, then it's in the fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Other than that, I do want to progress into maybe a couple 100k account and then hopefully get a couple more and then see where it goes from there.
Okay. And then from there, you've got 250 grand's worth of capital. You take it home 10% of that a month. You take home 25k a month. What do you do with your life? What are you doing? Where are you living, firstly? Where are you living?
I'm in a flat at the moment. That's the problem. I'm in a flat with my partner and my child, so I definitely want to move out of here.
Where are you going to go? Where would you like to go?
There's a little area around me. It's called Trent, Barton Trent.
Yeah.
It's this lovely little house. It's not too expensive there. It's quite affordable.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll just manage to get into it, get out of this area and settle down and make a new life, basically. Yeah.
Okay. So you got the house, okay?
Yep.
How old's your little boy?
Yeah, he's 4.
He's 4. Okay, so he's just started school.
Yep.
Got me?
Private school. Yes, he's in it's just a normal school at the moment. So private school would definitely be on board.
Okay, so private school education for your son. Okay, new house in nice area in Trent.
Yeah.
Big question now. You ready? Big question. What are you driving?
I currently drive a Citroen DS4.
But when you're making 25k a month, what are you driving?
I will be driving probably a Tesla.
Lovely. Nice.
Because
you can trade on the go as well, can't you, with that little...
Of course, yeah. I've seen that. It's definitely inspiration.
Nice. Okay. What's your missus driving?
She doesn't actually drive at the moment, so that would be in the cards as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely get her up.
Get her driving. Okay. What other big plans would you have? Is there anyone?
Holiday. I definitely need to take my little man to Disneyland, Florida. That's in the cards. Even if I don't do the trading, I mean, that's still in the cards.
That's core memory building, that place at that age as well. Going to Disneyland, meeting Mickey at 5-6 years old. Mate, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Essentially,
remember that the rest of your life, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a really amazing goals, and I've got every faith that I think you'll achieve it. Now, in classic style, at the end of this podcast, we have some questions that I'd like to ask you. I'm just going to load them up, okay? And where are we? So, where are you, Rhys? You're down here. Okay. So, I've got 3 questions that I'm going to ask you, okay, which are just questions from me. And then I've got a question that was left by our last guest, Justin, okay, that I'm going to ask you as well. I don't know what it is yet. I've not even read it. I've seen it in my inbox and not even read it, okay? So, question number 1. Describe for me your perfect day. Describe your perfect day.
Well, the perfect day would be to wake up, not feel tired, be ready for it.
You work nights, don't you?
Look on the charts, and then I'd the perfect day would be to be consistently profitable in that one day, 6-7% in that one day.
How do you deal with sorry, I'm being really rude. I'm just trying to find this question. Okay, got it. How do you deal with your losing days? So you spoke about when you lose a challenge. Is there a kind of a limit that you have when you have a losing streak or a losing day?
Yeah, there definitely is.
Yeah?
There was a day where I tried 2 accounts and I failed in both in one day. So then I thought, I need a break. So then I took a couple of days off. Then I didn't think about it, I didn't watch any videos. And then when I come back, I kind of had to refresh my memory and I had a whole clean insight on it again. And then started again from fresh, basically. And then since then, it's been profitable. So,
do you have a daily loss limit? Is there a limit?
Essentially, if I was with the max drawdown, I'd probably go to like 20% on the max drawdown. So it's £600 on CTI, so £200, and then I wouldn't do any more trades per day. So.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I interrupted you. So your perfect day, you wake up, you're not tired, you had a profitable trading morning. What next?
Yeah. I turned the laptop off after I'm in my trade, and then
what time you turn the laptop off?
Probably around 2:30.
Half 2.
Definitely.
Okay, so the rest of the day is yours now. What are you doing with the rest of the day?
Yeah, that's correct. Should I maybe go play a bit of golf? I like to play golf.
Nice.
Other than that, I'd take it easy, probably go out for food again in the afternoon, take my little man to the park, play some football, and then repeat again tomorrow.
I love it. Do you know what? I've asked this question a couple of times now, and it amazes me how happy people are. I think when your life doesn't change that much in your perfect day, it shows how happy you are and how enriched you already are. And the fact that all that money's going to do for you is going to give you a bit of freedom, give you a bit of
of course,
to have time with your family and your loved ones. And that's the same for me. People always be like, what are you doing with this money? What are you doing with that money? I'm like, nothing. I'm going to put it in the bank. Quit my work at some point. I still work full time. I'm going to quit my job at some point, maybe in 3 or 4 years, and I'll probably have a nice car. Other than that, my life won't change that much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've got everything I need. All the happiness is within the family.
Yeah. Wholesome, mate. I love that. Right, question number 2. What would you change about your journey if you could? That can be about trading. That can be about anything. That can be about life. Anything. What would you change about your journey if you could?
I would have definitely tried to start trading a lot earlier. I would have definitely got into it when I left school.
How old are you now?
I'm 26 now, so that would be 10 years much.
I didn't start trading until I was 28, 29. I'm 35.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm 35 now. So,
wow.
Yeah, you're laughing. You got a few years on me.
Yeah. Well, no, essentially, I would like, it would be nice because it would be another 10 years experience.
Yeah.
Due to now, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only thing I trade with, it's the only thing I change, so.
Okay, fair enough. Another great answer. Question number 3. What is wrong in the Forex space? Wrong in the Forex space.
I think there's a lot of people promising too much. Do you mean space buys in?
No, I don't mean like space. I mean in the Forex world.
I just think there's a lot of fake gurus out there that try and get you in and promise you the world or.
Yeah. Have you fallen found with any
like that? And yeah, I think there's a lot of scammers as well. The only thing is just scammers and it's the gurus that try and make money off you that aren't really that successful. So, but I mean, other than that, it's perfect. So.
I think that's one thing to watch out for as well. I discussed this on one of the podcasts the other day about these fake gurus and how you got to be so careful because remember the statistics: 95% of traders fail, which means there's probably a good handful of these gurus who, naturally. Probably if you become a Forex trading guru or mentor, then you've probably got more experience than most.
Yeah.
And you may have a strategy that works, whether or not you can make money out of it. But the thing that always concerns me with Forex trading strategies is the cost. So for me, for example, my trading mentorship has been free for quite a while. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start charging a little bit. I'm talking like 50 quid, 40 quid. But that's purely to pay for things like video editing and other bits and bobs. It's not for me to make any money. I make my money from trading, the mentoring, the education bit I do on the side, and I just do that because I enjoy it. I want to give something back. When you see some of these courses and they're like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, like, do you know what? If you were making that much money through trading, why would you need to charge that money through that much money for your course? Doesn't seem to make sense, but I don't know. People are greedy, aren't they? It could be that they've got a really good trading strategy and they're valuing it as a really good trading strategy. Could also be is that they don't make money out of trading, so you've got to be careful.
Exactly. Of course. That's the option I'm looking at sometimes. So.
What advice would you give to somebody who's considering a trading mentor or a trading guru?
I'd definitely look.
You filter out the bad from the good.
I'd definitely wait, and I'd make a demo account and I'd make sure that it's looking legit before I go in any further.
So you test it out, would you? You'd go for it, test it out, yeah?
I would definitely test it out first, yeah.
Fair enough. That's an approach, I like that.
Yeah, but I'd see how many followers are in the group. That's always a big one.
Yeah.
If you're looking at followers, I mean, if it's a couple hundred, then it's a bit of a high risk. I mean, if it's 20, 30,000, then maybe you got a little bit more.
Yeah, fair. And then the last question I have for you, Rhys, from Justin. Sorry, I'm just reading it. So, question from Justin is, what is one thing in your life you would relive but can't change, and why? What is so a moment in your life that you would relive if you could, but you can't change it, and why?
Ooh.
That's deep, isn't it? That's deep for...
That is deep. Well, essentially, in 2020, I had a really bad car accident.
Gosh, okay.
Yeah, and then, but I was drink driving, so it was my fault. I was in a bit of a bad place at the time.
Yeah.
And then it helped me, to be fair.
Really?
It changed my views, yeah, definitely. It changed my views on life, and then it made me stop doing what I was doing.
Amazing.
And it kind of helped me progress into what I am now. But I don't know if I could change it. I wouldn't change it because it's happened, and I think it turned a bad thing into a positive. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really key, isn't it? Life is going to throw a lot of shit at you. Throughout your life, definitely. And it gets worse as we get older. We got to deal with people that we love getting ill and passing away, and all the horrible things that come with life. And as you get older, you get more responsibilities, and you've got children to look after. And then we've got a 12-year-old at the moment, and he's looking 90% of the time, but 10% of the time he's like a teenager. And there's things that life throws at you that you've got to deal with. And I think going into them with a positive mindset, like you had a really awful situation, probably scared the shit out of you because you got a little boy at home, right? He was 6 months, 8 months at the time.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
It rise, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. But, essentially, I wouldn't change it. Oh, sorry.
I said, I think we all have those turning points, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And were you trading before then?
No, I actually wasn't. That was the time when I was about looking at stocks.
Yeah.
So I wasn't into Forex then. I was looking at stocks, and yeah.
Did that kind of accelerate things for you? Did that push you along?
I think it did, because at the time I lost my job as well. So I lost my job at Salford because of the accident. Yeah, I had to have 3 months off work because I broke my knee, broke my elbow, and
nasty, mate.
And
you're lucky to be here,
honestly. Honestly, I'm really lucky to be here. If I could show you the photos, but you won't be able to see in the picture. Maybe I'll show you after.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, mate. Honestly,
madness.
It's hard to tell what kind of space you're in at the time until something like that happens, and then it's easier to see and where you're going wrong, and that's where you can fix it, to be fair.
Absolutely. Well, look, fair play to you for coming out the other side. I really, I appreciate you joining me today, early in the morning, especially during Christmas week. But it's been really great having you on. It's been really great chatting to you. And I think you're going to achieve big things. I like your mindset. I like what you're doing. I like your focus. I like the reasons behind it. I like your happy story as well. I feel like, you've gone through these troubles. You've gone through these tough times. You come out the other side, and you're doing something about it. So many people, I think, have the same experiences that you have, and then they just wallow. They stay in the same job. They don't try and change anything. They blame everything around them rather than blaming themselves, when actually you are the creator of your own existence. You will. I always have the saying of, you speak it into existence. If you go out and you talk about the things that you want to achieve enough, you will probably eventually achieve them. You've just got to take that action, take that first step. As that saying, isn't there, that a long journey, I'm butchering this, a long journey starts with a single step? I think that's right. Not if you said, hang on, correct. Let's ask Google. Hey, Google, who said a long journey starts with a single step? Guarantee I'm right.
Philosopher Lao Tzu, according to Franklin Templeton, India, attributed to Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, the quote encapsulates all aspects of life. It highlights the importance of taking things one at a time when any journey, professional or personal, seems too tedious and daunting.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So you wasn't far off. And you've taken those steps, and you've started your journey, and you're on your way to, the freedom that you're looking for. And I don't think you're very far away from it. So look, Rhys, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on. I'll drop you an email in a minute because I need a question from you for the next guest as well.
Yeah, sweet, yeah.
All right. Have a great day, buddy. Appreciate your time.
And you too.
Cheers.
Thanks for your time, Chris. Thank you very much.